Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sin Privilegios. I'm Adriel Dominguez. And you know what? Today, it's obviously a solo podcast. I don't got a guest. I'm going to have the guest interviews at least once a month. So if I get more students to come on here or people to come on here, then I will definitely add another guest interview. But as of now, it's going to be a guest interview per month. And then it'll just be solo episodes. I'm pretty much open to cover any topic that falls under the umbrella of Sin Privilegios. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to either direct message me on Instagram or you can comment it down below. Okay. Today, I got no script. I'm just going to talk from my heart, my experiences. And today I wanted to talk about kind of a topic that I feel it was a topic that I thought was just like a generational thing. But now that I talk to other people, I just feel like this is something that a lot of people go through. And it wasn't something that just happened to me in the past and stayed in the past. It's something that students are currently going through. And what I want to talk about today was kind of the difficulty of not difficulty. I wanted to talk about what it's like to grow up Hispanic in an area where maybe you weren't represented and maybe you were not the majority in school, right? You didn't have a lot of Hispanic friends. Maybe you didn't like your skin tone. Maybe you are embarrassed of being Hispanic. And I just kind of want to make this video for y'all. Um, so, like I said, I kind of thought this was something that it happened to me in the past, right? So I kind of just assumed that it doesn't happen to people anymore, which I don't know where the disconnect with that was, but I've come such a long way from being in that place where I didn't like my skin tone and I was embarrassed of being paisa that it just kind of didn't really seem relevant to me. But as I've talked to more Hispanic young adults, I've noticed that it's actually a thing that a lot, if not all people that grow up here in the US go through. Um, so I guess I'll just start with that. I mean, yeah, I'm just talking from what I feel. I have no script this time. Usually I have something written, but today I was just like, no, I'm just gonna talk with what I feel. So just give me a minute. I guess where we could start is the area I grew up in. There was no Latino kids. Okay, there was not many Latino kids. I think there was like one other Latino kid in my class, and that was like in kindergarten. And we're in Washington, but in the year that we were like moved here, there was not a lot of Hispanic people. And like right now, you go to the grocery store, I feel like you can maybe or like I feel like it's more common to see Latinos. We even have like taco stands and stuff, which is not something you would see. And even then, it's like really rare to see that here in Washington. Like Latino population is not that much, but back then it was like nearly nothing. So I grew up with like majority of the people that were in my school were probably majority was white, and I lacked having that I lacked having representation. All of my teachers in my middle school or all my teachers in elementary were all white teachers. And I'm not saying this because I want to be like, oh, like white people. No. It's just to show that I didn't grow up with that. I never had like there was not even people at our school that worked that were Hispanic. And there was very limited kids that were Hispanic. Like I said, I'm pretty sure in elementary there was only like I want to say there was probably like a handful, maybe like 3 to 5 students that were Hispanic. I only had one Hispanic friend, and she was like my best friend in elementary, and that was it. Like we, at least for me, I literally wanted to be white, guys. Like I wanted to have lighter skin. I wanted to have the blue eyes. I wanted to have the blonde hair. And I feel like this is even more like now that I'm saying that, it literally just reminded me of the ad for American Eagle by Sydney Sweeney. which is crazy because imagine if 10-year-old me would have seen that ad. Well, actually, when you're a kid, I guess you don't really comprehend you probably don't comprehend what she's getting at in the ad. I personally think it is controversial. It's a marketing ad. Like, American Eagle is a big company. You guys knew what you were doing with that ad. So don't come over here and people saying it's not that serious, but it is. It's like the same thing when people say politics is not that serious, but it is though, because it's affecting people personally. Anyways, that's a whole nother tangent. But yeah, I wanted to have the perfect jeans, as American Eagle said. Y'all suck. Y'all knew what you were doing. I said I was gonna move on from the topic and I didn't. I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah, so it was really hard for me to find my identity, right? I didn't see it. And you also don't really tell, well, at least on my from my experience, I never really told my parents. There were moments where I wouldn't, like, I would get really dark in the summer. And well, I guess it was not something I really brought up. Cuz it's your family. Like, what are you going to say, you know? And I know, like, my little brother, for example, he didn't speak, he didn't want to speak Spanish for a minute. And I think it's like, for me, I think it's just embarrassment because, like I said, you have no representation. And also at school, they would not let you speak Spanish because the teachers would say, I don't understand what you're saying, so don't speak it. Which honestly is very unfortunate because you're literally shutting the kid out from something that's part of their culture, right? And I don't know. I feel like I've been ranting a lot, but not really giving you like helpful. Okay. I guess it just, part of that made me really struggle with my identity. But it's weird because you don't tell your parents, I don't want to be Mexican or I don't want to be paisa. You don't say that stuff. And it also comes along with, like, even when I would get lunch, I didn't like eating Hispanic food at school. Partly because kids, I mean, people know kids can be mean, and you already feel left out once you start realizing color, like skin color and all of that stuff. You become very much aware that you're different. And when it came to food, kids, I mean, kids are kids, but you're also a kid. I was also a kid during that time. So for someone to come up to me like, oh, your food looks gross, this and that, I never wanted to eat it, which low key broke my heart because my mom was a very hard working woman. Like, I wouldn't see her all day. So if I wanted to see her, sometimes I would wake up at 6. Like, I would tell her if she could pack my lunch the day before or something like that. And she would, but I think I took this like a torta, and I think it was for a field trip, and it was wrapped in foil, aluminum foil, and people were like, "Hey, what is that?" Or like, "Why is it?" And I'd be like, "It's a sandwich." And they'd be like, "Why is it so big?" La la la. And yeah, after that, I kind of just got embarrassed and I didn't eat it anymore. And with the whole skin color thing, honestly, it's like sad. It's even sad for me to say it out loud because now I love my skin color, and if anything, I wish I could be darker. Like, I've learned to embrace that, which is something that if you would have told me that back then when I was literally dressing up as Elsa, y'all. Oh my god. I was literally dressing up as Elsa. Like, I'm telling you, I wanted to be white. Like, I wanted the blonde hair, everything. And yeah, you tell 10-year-old me that I'm proud of who I am now, they would be shocked. Little me would be shocked. But it made me, like, part of the reason why I also wanted to talk about this is because I have a coworker, and she told me that her little girl is embarrassed, or not embarrassed, but I guess in a sense yes, but she doesn't like her skin tone. Like, I've even heard this one girl say, and I'm pretty sure I said, like, kind of touched on this at the guest interview that is gonna come up this month. Um, she's literally gorgeous. She's like 19, and she was like tapándose el sol. She was covering herself from the sun because she was like, I don't like my skin tone. Like, I don't like to be morena and I don't want to get darker because I'm already dark. Something along those lines. But, and if you're watching this, girl, you are, you're beautiful the way that you are and your skin tone is gorgeous and you should not feel less than. And also trying to like put yourself down, like, it's not going to change anything. It is morena and you're beautiful morena. You don't have to be a different skin tone to be beautiful. Like, that is what you are. That is what, where you came from. Your family probably is that skin tone too, and you wouldn't tell them that you don't like their skin tone to their face, right? And you probably wouldn't say that to somebody else you don't know. You wouldn't go up to them and be like, oh, I don't like your nose, or oh, I don't like your skin tone, I don't like the way that your eyes are shaped. Like, you don't say that to other people, so why are you saying it to yourself? You get where I'm coming from? And I don't know, I personally, I think like when I was growing up, um one of my aunts, she always loved my skin tone. And we're the same skin tone. And I love my aunt. Like, and I thought I love my aunt with all my heart. And I never once thought to myself, her skin color is ugly. But when I saw it on myself, I didn't like it. But she always would like compliment me and tell me que estaba bien bonita, morena. Y also, for those of you who may not know, like morena is kind of like, it can be used as like a pet name. It's not in it. So you could be like, oh, mi morena. Or there's even a song called Mi Morenita. Like, it's not an insult, but she would always like have a positive connotation to my skin color, which I've never told her this, but I think that really helped me because when my tia would say that to me, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so cute. But I think that's also helpful when you have children. Like, tell them to embrace their features. You gotta hype them up. But I think that that also really helped me. I mean, those were like some of the moments when I was a child that I remember that I liked having my skin tone simply because my aunt liked it and I loved my aunt, and everything my aunt loved, I wanted to love too. So yeah, I think that helped me. I also, I mean, now that I'm 20 years old, girl, hitting on your skin tone isn't gonna change anything. I'm sorry, baby girl, you got melanin. You're not gonna magically, your genetics is not gonna make you white. And you have to love what you have and embrace what you got. Okay. And like I said, people in my family are morenos, and I would never say that their skin tone is ugly. Like, no. Another thing that I guess I could also kind of talk about is my hair. If y'all are not watching, I have curly hair, and it's something that I, even to this day, I struggle to embrace a little bit because I kind of don't really like it. But I think part of it has to do because I don't really know how to take care of it and like make it look cute. But ooh, that's why for this episode I was like, I'm gonna leave my curls because I'm talking about embracing who you are, embracing how you look, embracing those cultural features. I gotta pop up and show out, like practice what you preach, right? Anyways, that was a tangent. I gotta admit, it's hard for me to get on here and talk about this stuff. It's hard for me to get on here and talk about this because I'm literally exposing myself to like thousands of people watching me. And I'm not saying that because I'm saying like, oh, I get 1,000 views. No, it's because this is going on the internet and people are gonna have access to this video. And I don't think people really understand how nerve wracking that is until you actually do it. So please have compassion over me. Oh my God, you guys, please have compassion over me when I speak because it's a lot. It's a lot talking about something so vulnerable. Like, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, well, and I guess now that we're on this topic, colorism is a thing in Mexico, you guys. So, I mean, people that are not Mexican, you may not know this, but there's literally racism in Mexico, which is crazy to me because I'm like, bro, people are being racist to us in other countries. Like, the least you could do is be nice to your people in the same country. You get what I'm throwing? Because it's like, okay, And I've literally heard this from someone in my family too. They'll be people in our family who are lighter get praised more, or they're seen as like more attractive because you're lighter in skin tone, which is crazy because Mexicans are morenos and some of them are like dark, dark. So I'm like, why is there colorism in Mexico? There are Mexicans that have really light skin, they have like blue green eyes, but for majority, I would say, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but majority, I would say that most of us are morenos and have dark hair, dark eyes. And it's crazy to me because even like people will like say it out loud. They'll be like, I have this one person that I know, I'm not gonna say names, but she's like, "Oh yeah, like my like mother-in-law prefers my children because they're lighter." And I'm like, "That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say out loud, but it's even crazier to permit it and for the grandma to permit it cuz I'm like, "Girl, like I said, but bro, if you're Mexican, there has got to be someone in your family that is moreno and you're over here like saying that white is better." Which is it's crazy to me because okay, you're white, but you're still Mexican, and guess what? If you came to the U.S., they wouldn't like you. Like you're paisa, and the nopal lo tienes en la frente. So I don't know, yeah. I don't know why that's a thing, and it's crazy to me because I know that not a lot of people might know about that, but it is a thing. And even in telenovelas, I know there's like this viral meme. I might insert it if I can, and I don't get copyrighted, and if I find it, but it's like literally these two little girls, and I don't know what their relation is, but I think they're like family, and I think they have like the same grandma, or I don't know. It's like the two girls, and then there's an adult, and they're both wearing Snow White dresses, and one of them is Morena, and the other one is Güerita, and the grandma's like, "Oh my god!" To the white little girl, to the lighter skinned girl, she's like, "Oh, you look so beautiful. You look just like Snow White." And she turns around and she looks at the little girl that's morena, that's brown, and she's like, "Ah, y tú pareces negra nieves." Like literally calls her like uh black Snow White. I can't. That's not the exact translation, but that's pretty much what she says to her. And the little girl obviously is like, "What the heck, grandma?" I'm pretty sure it is a grandma. Like, "What the hell?" And she's just like kind of staring at her, and she obviously feels bad about herself. And, anyways, so for me, like, what really helped me embrace who I am, but I think the point that hit that I actually started to embrace who I was going to Mexico. I didn't think I was gonna like Mexico, to be honest. Like, part of me didn't really want to go. I kind of just went because my parents have always wanted me to go. But I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna go do in Mexico? Like, yeah, I did not want to go, you guys. I know I'm so ungrateful. I'm sorry, mom and dad, but they sent me, and I'm glad that I went. And it was literally one of the best experiences of my life. And I got to meet my grandparents and like my family that I have over there, which I had never met. And this was right before I started college. And being there and seeing my grandparents honestly like shifted my identity because I was like, wow, like this is who I am. This is where my parents came from. And one thing I will not deny is I've always loved Mexican food. Okay, like I love me some good Mexican food. But like it just helped me embrace who I was, and just seeing the culture was so beautiful to me. Like I was like, wow, like this is literally me. Like I have like seen stuff. Well, obviously I grew up in America. So it's like my holiday was freaking Christmas and Valentine's Day, like hello. But just seeing stuff from Mexico and seeing the culture and the people, it was completely like different, completely different from America, especially in the rancho, which is where I went, which is not like the city or like the touristy parts like Cancun and the well-known areas of Mexico, but like really being in the spot where it's truly like the real Mexicans. You know what I mean? And that helped me embrace, like that's kind of when I started to be like, okay, like this is who I am, this is what Mexico's about, so and so. And then when I started at POU, I like I said, I didn't have any Latino friends, and I also just didn't have any friends in general. So I was like, what better way than to go to like this Latino organization? And I went and I saw a lot of Latino kids. Like I think that's like the most Latino kids I had seen in a minute. And I just like we had a lot of the same struggles being like first gen, but also being Hispanic. And I actually was also in a class that it was like just for your first year, and it's like one semester, and it's kind of like you get to like choose like a category of the class you want to go to. So mine was like students of color, and there was like first gen and like nursing students. There was different ones, but mine was students of color. And I think it helped me because it was just like a classroom where you get to go, and it's just a bunch of students of color because that's the one that I chose. And you just kind of talk about like how's school going for you, and if you've had any struggles. And the school I go to is known as being predominantly white. That's what it's called, okay? And so for students of color, obviously it can be a little bit harder to adjust. Um and people got to share like their struggles, or maybe like the good parts too, right? But also just like things that might make you feel a little bit weird because you're not white. And I feel like that helped me too. And there was some Hispanic people in there too. I think there was like four of us that were Hispanic. But just like seeing that like other students of color struggle with so many like similar things. And I think that was also helpful. And then for sure, Latinos Unidos helped me, you guys. Being around people that are the same culture or ethnicity as you, it'll help you out. I promise you. Make more Hispanic friends because that's probably what you need. There's probably a Latino organization near where you're at. Go and make friends there. I promise you that will 100%, that will help you. That will help you. I think lack of representation and lack of your culture will really, obviously it's gonna cause a shift. I think it's literally a mentality thing, you guys. Like go make more Hispanic friends. I promise you it'll change your life. And it was so funny because obviously I had never been around other Hispanic students in like this much of a like it's not in such a grand scheme of like people. I had never seen that many Latino kids in one room, and it was my first time. And it was so funny because they would speak Spanish. Well, we were talking in Spanish, right? And then someone said, like, when I was talking to this one person, they said something along the lines of like, oh, like no manches. And literally I thought it was like something that only my family said, and it turns out it's literally a cultural thing. And it's just like, oh my god, y'all say that at your house too, that's so funny. And honestly, bro, it changed my life. What can I say? And then like seeing like the representation factor, here it comes. Like they would even celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and like you get to see that stuff being celebrated, which is not something that I would see obviously in the school where Hispanics are not majority. They obviously are not going to teach you about Dia de los Muertos and all the holidays for Mexican kids, right? It's just you're in America. You're gonna go do Halloween stuff probably. And I thought it was so cool, and honestly, it changed how I saw things. And also, as I grew up, and I just kind of started loving myself, I started to love my skin tone. And now I'll purposely go out and lay in the sun so I can be more morena because I love being morena. And honestly, I want every young adult seeing this to go reach that point in their life eventually, because you got nothing to be ashamed of. Your parents, you wouldn't say to your parents what you think or what you feel. And you wouldn't say it because you don't want to hurt their feelings. So why are you hurting your own feelings by thinking those things? Like, girl, you're just fighting with yourself. You're fighting with your own self because you can be happy and you can embrace what you got, who you are. And I promise you, life will be 100 times better once you do that. Okay, you're gonna be so much happier, and you're not. The feeling of embarrassment will go away. It will go away. I might just come back to this, but yeah, I think that's kind of like the main points I kind of wanted to make. And I just want you guys to know that you are not alone if you feel that way about yourself, whether it's your skin tone, whether it's just embarrassment of your culture. Girl, you're not alone. We all go through that point. We all go through that point in our lives, probably. And I just want you to know that you can get out of it. Learn to love yourself. You love you. I know you love your family. You wouldn't think that about your family. So don't think it about yourself. Embrace who you are. You can't change things like your skin tone. You got to love it. And I think it's beautiful, but you got to change how you feel on the inside. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful. I don't know, just to share that it does happen. It does happen, but girl, be proud of who you are. Love your skin tone. Love yourself. Love la raza. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Honestly, you know what? If y'all want to submit or comment down your stories about that, that would be great. Or you can DM it to me and maybe I could read it on another podcast episode. So y'all can see that everybody shares the struggle. For real. For real seas. This is probably gonna be more of a shorter episode. I think the solo episodes are gonna be shorter because it's really hard for me to sit here and just talk. It's hard for me to sit here and talk when I don't have anybody to talk to because I'm not really having a conversation. Like I'm talking to myself. And here's the thing: I can listen to myself, yeah, but I feel like y'all can't. So I try to make my points quick and just yeah. I kind of hope that this was, like I said, helpful. I hope y'all can relate to this. Let's love ourselves, guys. And you know what? Y'all can reach out to me too. The heck? The Instagram DMs are always open. But yeah, I'm gonna close with that. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.